Hello.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
Dan and Katrina of Lakewood Cemetery. Can I sing a theme song at your face?
Please do.
Okay. Hey, I miss you. And I hope you're doing well. I miss you and hearing your music IRL. So I am thinking that you sing me a song or two. I just sit here in my bathroom saying, hey, I miss you. Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. I am sitting in my big green bathroom in a suburb a little bit north of Minneapolis. You two have not been here to sing toilet tunes. I will tell you that I dream of that.
We would absolutely come to your toilet someday.
Thank you. I would love that. And I got this feeling like we're kind of getting close to it feeling
Don't
maybe.
jinx us. Yes.
Right?
Maybe. Yes.
Maybe. But yes, so that's where I am right now. But I'm wondering if you could tell us all where you're chiming in from.
Yep, we're on our front porch. We live in northeast Minneapolis, and these are our drapes. So that's where we are.
I like those drapes.
Thank you.
They kind of match the sky that's actually out there.
I know, it's a cloudy day, but it's getting warm. Snow is melting. Very happy about that.
Those are good things. If I was going to ask you how you are, I'm going to say, like, how are you right in the second? I'm going to snap a Polaroid. How are you?
Good. Anxious.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Dan?
Oh, just fine. Always just fine.
It's true.
My mom is always just fine. And recently we were on I asked her how she was doing, and she instead was like, livid. I'm livid. And I was like, oh, this is a fascinating development.
Yeah, tell me more.
Right, exactly. So I guess the nice thing about always being just fine is that when you choose to whip out a feeling one day, it's a hold the phone.
Sure,
Whoa.
it lands a little bit harder.
A feeling? What?
I got a feeling, just one. Okay, I'm just kidding. You have lots of feelings. I'm wondering if you would sing us a song and tell us why you chose the song
Yes.
that you're going to sing.
So we would like to sing The City. It's the title track from our most recent album called The City that we released last year. That's part of the reason. And it's probably my favorite song from that album, I think. So that's why.
That's a great reason. All right. Lakewood Cemetery.
The main drag is all gone. We can't keep our hats on. The city is too bright. It swallows the starlight. The same dance, the same kiss. I'm done for, you hate this. The city's exciting. It drowns out our fighting. I hear the sound of the deep underground, but all I can see is the basement. Everyone yells at you, bury your dead, but all of my roads have been paved. Forever is too long. The same dance, the same song. The city is waiting. It's here for the taking. A shoe shine, a quick smile. I hang on the bed while the city is circling. It's hungry, it's thirsty. I hear the sound of the deep underground, but all I can see is the basement. Everyone yells at you, bury have been paved. Don't wait for the ghost to find you. Hide and be eaten alive. Pry, rattle every lock and key, and you'll know when it's time to dig the hole.
I was smiling so big, even though the lyrics are weighted and grown up and have, and I was like, my face is not matching what's happening, but it's because just listening to you both sing brought me just incredible joy. So
Thank you. It's fun. We haven't done this much lately, so
It's true.
it's good to have a chance to do it.
And I forget where I heard it, but I definitely clung to always sad lyrics, happy music, happy lyrics, sad music. So that's kind of intentional. Like this definitely became a power pop song after I heard it, and I kind of had to run it past Katrina and be like, "Is this kind of in the ballpark?" And like, yes and no is always kind of the answer.
Yeah, it's usually no at first, and then we come around
But in
to some compromise.
this context is definitely closer to what the song is when you write it. And I think, if people go and listen to the album, they hear something more fleshed out for sure, as you know. So it's definitely on our to-do list. I think the next thing that we're going to do is take some of those album tracks we've done and do them in this context, because this is organic to what you're doing and organic to what we're doing, and kind of a way to ease back into being productive.
Right, without having to write a whole album's worth of new songs that I haven't done yet.
yeah, that's genius. I mean, it is. I ran with the album 2 days in a row. So like for sure when you're hearing it, like
Right,
you can
it
get
has
going.
energy.
Yeah. But it had energy there too. I mean, I think the specific way the two of your voices come together, there's an angularity to it that I really appreciate. And like, it puts it at this energetic, I'm just going to keep gesturing as if that means things, but it adds an energetic layer. And I love that. What would you call that? Like that little idea that you said, the happy song, sad lyrics, happy song. Little motto,
Yep.
a bumper sticker.
I will track that down, because it was somebody who you would know, and it was like an Elvis Costello or something quote, and he just said that always works. If you write a very happy song, try and make the music sound sad, and it does work. It's a very cheap trick, but
I like it. Maybe Cheap Trick said it.
maybe they did.
This is Hey, I Miss You. This is a show that I made up because I used to have Toilet Tunes, which was me and somebody else in my bathroom, which is large, but not that large. And so in COVID, it felt not an thing I wanted to do, but I started to really miss people. And on one of my runs, I was like, I really am also tired of singing at my face for live streams. And I bet I have friends who are tired of singing at my face, and maybe they'll sing at my face. And you just did that. And so every Friday at noon, I get to interview somebody fantastic and listen to songs sung right at my face. So thank you for taking part in my wacky experiment.
Thank you.
I'm wondering if you will tell me something good. Mm-mm. Tell me.
The best thing right now is that I have seedlings coming up in trays in my house, and I love to garden, and so this is the first year I started doing it. Like, I got a grow light set up. Our neighbors probably think we're growing drugs, but it's really just salvia and onion seedlings and tomatoes right now. So
That's awesome. Big tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, a variety of tomatoes.
both. Yep, going big this year. All kinds of stuff.
That's exciting. I have 2 tiny plants myself at home that I'm hoping might make it outside at some point.
Good luck.
With the onions, tell me, you'll plant them. Will they come up? Are they spring onions, or will they come up?
No, they're bulb onions. So
Okay.
you plant the seeds, they come up. They look like little chives when they first come up. and then you just let them grow, and then you plant them in the ground, and then the bottom turns into an onion. That's what they tell me.
And then you're going to make onion rings forever.
No, I mean,
I don't think so.
I've never made them before. We'll go to a restaurant for those, but we'll
They
we'll
make
cook
the
them in the
kitchen
usual way.
super messy. I think that's
Deep frying at home.
It's
It's
a
the-
disaster.
This is the biggest step forward you've taken in prepping the garden this early and doing it indoors. So there's a real, it's like a slow anticipation, and watching our kid also is kind of half interested in seeing what's going on and kind of checks in and out of, counting the plants, and if we're lucky, maybe he'll eat something from them, but who knows?
Right? Yeah. I love that. How old is your son?
He will be 5 in a couple of weeks. So, yep, he's a good guy. He's at preschool right now. So.
Yes, yes. I'm just fully ignoring my 2 children who are
You can.
Yeah,
They're
you're
old enough
allowed.
where you can do that.
they're old enough that I can sort of do that and we can know they're okay. All right. Okay, this is the part we do. In case you missed it. Ooh. In case you missed it. This is Dan and Katrina, Lakewood Cemetery. I met you probably 4 years ago at Ben Cook Feltz's CD release at the Ice House. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Well, I remember the first time I saw you, which was before that. Remember Harriet Brewing?
Oh,
You
yes, with
played
Doug
there with Doug
Collins.
Collins.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
and
yes,
I think
yes.
did we open? We were like the opener, and then you played, and then Doug played, or did we just go to
Yes.
it? I forget.
I think you're right. No, it was a triple bill.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you
Yes.
played, and then Doug played, and that's when I first saw you. So
Yes. I remember seeing you at the Ice House specifically and just being like, holy crap, they're so good. The melodies are so good. The lyrics are so good. Every single thing is so good. And then on top of it, you have a physically captivating performance style. Both of you, but specifically Katrina. If I'm just going to be really
tell me more about Dan.
Dan, I just didn't want to leave you out, but mostly it's Katrina. And I was just really blown away. And
Well,
so
likewise. I mean, I remember seeing you at Harriet too, and just being like, whoa, you occupy a space in local music that not many people do, and you do it really well. And yeah, we were super impressed.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. I've gotten a chance to see you a few times recently at these wonderful tribute shows that we do with Zachary Scott Johnson. And when was the one we just did? It was November, early November. We did a Joni one, and I got a chance to give you a hug, and you were an excellent hugger. And I was like, oh.
I do like
That's
hugs.
cool too. Hugs are good, and they take a new space. So that's my Lakewood Cemetery story. But I wonder if you would give us the actual one, because mine just accomplished 3 dates in history, and I'm guessing there's more things.
Yeah. So we met 10, 12 years ago, and we were playing in a jug band together, the Como Avenue Jug Band. I played washboard, Dan played guitar. And then I started writing songs that weren't in the jug band genre, which is a pretty narrow genre. And so I had these handful of songs, and I asked Dan if he wanted to listen to that. We would talk about music and stuff at parties and whatever. And so then it was hey, do you want to work on these songs with me? And that was it. So then the first time we played together, we opened for a jug band show that we then played at, just the two of us, and then stuff, and then we got married, and and here we are.
Well, yeah. And you're named Lakewood Cemetery. You are now the second band that I've had on here in this calendar year named after a specific Minneapolis location.
Oh, okay.
Because we also had Lake and Lindale.
Oh, right. So who we know.
A corner. But tell me about Lakewood Cemetery for you all and for this name.
Yeah, it was kind of my idea. I'm from Minneapolis, and at the time we named our band, my grandma was buried at that cemetery. It's a beautiful place. I really have a thing for trees and big old trees, and so it just feels like a center of the city in a meaningful way. Yeah. And I knew, because my mom is one of those people who plans her funeral ahead of time, my parents were going to be buried there too, so it's just this place that I know I will be coming back to a lot. And my dad just passed away in November, and he's now buried there, so it's continues to just be a I don't know, I feel it's a spiritual locus or whatever you want to call it. So,
That's beautiful. It is. I have once a year I get to sing there
nice in the chapel.
outside. No, I
Oh,
sing outside as part of a lantern ceremony that
oh
they
yeah,
do.
right, with that pond that they, yeah.
And it's so beautiful there. And I think what you say about it being a center of the city and the idea of it being some place that you know you're always tied to is really special. And yeah, I didn't
Plus,
intend that to like that. I didn't know that the name had like heart meaning as well. So that's yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
superficially, it has to sound good, and it is a good sounding name. Like I don't know, we sort of kicked around a couple of much worse ideas, and
True, like the syphilitic
the
horrors.
syphilitic chorus was an
Oh,
Well, if we
now,
had started a punk band, that would have worked well.
someday.
Yeah.
which is still like that's a good band name, I think, but it's
For not for us.
not a good band
Yeah.
name for us.
We'll throw that out to someone else.
We play the band name game a lot at our house. It's like my husband and my kids now are in on it as well, and like it is a good. Oh,
It's
that's a
fun.
good band name. Yeah, that's a good
Yep.
party game. So you've released 3 albums: 2015, self-titled; 2018, Laws of Motion. The cover of Laws of Motion looks like I take pictures every morning of the sunrise and I post it to Instagram, and I was like, that looks like one of my squares. Like I would take that picture for sure.
Yeah,
I would
Dan
take
took
that.
picture.
That's
Yeah.
looking up into a tree from our driveway,
Yeah.
and very lightly touched up. It kind of just is.
pretty.
It is what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah. And then The City, which, like you said, that was 2021. Was it May? Ish,
If you say so,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
w-
remember anymore.
It was in progress for a very long time, and eventually we just pushed it and got it done. But that was, I mean, 2019 maybe.
Well, yeah, because I don't know. I feel like with the pandemic, it was like everybody was like, "Oh, we're gonna put out so much music with all this time we have stuck at home. It's all gonna happen." And then I just feel like we didn't account for how like the stress would just suck all the creative energy away. You know, like I did not get more done during the pandemic. Musically.
No.
I bought more
So-
things.
Yeah, I did stuff, but yeah, I didn't write anywhere near as much as I thought. So like, yeah, it took longer than we thought.
Yeah. There was that, right away when that happened, like people were like, oh, King Lear was written in quarantine. I was like,
Yeah, not me.
don't do that to all the people. That's the worst. Did you record a lot of it okay, so back it up, you're married.
Yeah.
My understanding is, Katrina, you've written all the songs on the album.
Yeah.
Then you come together and you arrange them together?
A little more of a
Ish?
handoff. I would say a handoff to
Oh.
Dan.
Yeah, we're still kind of tinkering with that, but Katrina will write, and we will. I'll just do like a really basic, just like pads of chords underneath to a click, and then I will go and mess with it, and then when I have a half of an idea, then I'll go back and say, is this good, bad, in between? Should I keep going this direction or not? And then we fight about it. And then I keep doing what I was going to do anyway. And then by the end, Katrina's fine with it.
Yeah. It's tense. Yeah, for real.
I mean, that's not too far out from reality. Our first album was a little bit less like that. We did hire,
Yeah, we had a band.
we had a band, and we went to Greg Schute's studio, and we didn't know how much we were going to get done. We knew we had 10 songs. And we went the first night with Nick Salisbury and Jordan Carlson. It was
Oh, those
great.
are good people.
Yes. And we were so productive the first night that everyone involved just said, let's do 2 more and just do all 10 songs. And so we did. And then the second album was more the process, like I said before. And that is, we didn't even have Greg play drums on that, did we?
No, I mean, so Dan has learned how to just either punch in digital samples of instruments or play the instruments himself on the album. So, which is mostly what he did for this recent album too, except that once he kind of had everything in place, we had Greg Schute replace all the drum tracks with his drumming, which was a great choice. But otherwise, all the instruments are Dan, right? I don't think there's anyone else on that. Yeah.
One moment, like production-wise, arrangement-wise, that really got me was, oh gosh, I wrote it down in the other place. the song I said in the email to you, that it starts out,
We'll
the
be
W.
home soon.
Yes, we'll be home soon, and it starts out all, very spare, but then strings happen.
Not strings. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were played at some point by
That was
somebody
a fight
in
we
England.
had.
Yeah, for
'Cause
sure.
I don't like not strings. But yeah, it worked out.
My brain was like, these probably are not strings only because I had read the liner notes,
Yeah, we didn't
But
like hire an orchestra. Yeah.
Right, but hey, that's a wonderful move and highly recommended. But
Yeah, I mean,
when I
that
listened to it, I was blown away by that. I just thought it sounds so good.
Thank you.
that's a moment that in if this was a production focused interview, I would definitely dork out about. That was it's a sneaky key change, and then a bunch of new instruments come in. And so I was extremely pleased with it right from the jump. I was like, check it out. I did this awesome key change, and then all this stuff happens. I mean, it's striking. And I think that can be, again, like everything starts with Katrina on a guitar, and it starts very spare, you know, without much embellishment. And so at that point, it's really like not just between the two of us, but like a fight with myself about. I'm a very kitchen sink sort of a person, so my first instinct is do everything, and then take it away if there's a compulsion to take it away. And I think that's where, Katrina, like I said, we doing everything like this and spare like this is something that we kind of owe ourselves at this point after 3 albums of kind of doing it my way, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's a compromise though, because I am also writing everything. So in some ways, like I'm the dictator of the material entirely. So like it's been a huge like process for us to learn. Like I would say from my end to learn to compromise at all, because like I just don't want to compromise at all. And like you make your own music and you have a vision or a feeling of what it should sound like. And if you hear something that conflicts with that feeling, it's like this like body reaction. You're like, no.
Yeah, it's a baby. I mean,
Yeah. So, but then it also isn't at all a baby. It's like
sure.
I want to just be like, so like I think Dan's energy that is good for us is to be like, let's just make something and get it out there. Like we have lots of friends, who like labor over their albums for years and years and years, and we're just like, just get it out, like it's good enough. It's like better to just, I think, put things out and not I don't know, get so tied to what it is and be like, all right, well, this isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, and that's fine,
Yeah, I am more of that, of the like just get it out, because otherwise I feel like for me the opposite is the perfection would would result in never releasing,
Right.
like and so I don't know, that makes a lot of sense to me. I do want to shout out really quick that, I was going to ask you, Brand New Penny, what's happening with your time signature there? And was that a production post thing, or was that a songwriting, you did it?
Yeah, no, I just did that in the writing. So I don't know. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that
It's good.
that is one of many. It's the most obvious one that you think, oh, there's a time signature. There's something going on that's throwing me off. But that happens a lot too in Katrina's writing, where it seems like the song is just what it is, and there's no micromanaging whether there is something weird happening at all. And that one in particular, when I got the track, I actually clapped it out. I was like, okay, so you skipped a beat here. Was that on purpose? Do you want to do that? And I did a version where we didn't skip a beat. And it was nowhere near as interesting. But yeah, I don't know how much it even occurred to you that there was anything besides just it being what it was.
I mean, but it isn't like it's not like weird. It's da 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 da.
Right.
Like that's just something. Someone does that
Yeah.
in Latin music or something. Like it's not like I made that up. So
No,
You invented it.
but seven
right,
seven
totally
when
made
you
that up.
expect 8,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
It's masterful. That's what I'm just gonna say, masterful.
well, that's thank you.
Yes, we're going to talk about a little bit. Annie Enneking is recommended. Like, you all, and like just as when I asked music she was listening to, and her response was so enthusiastic. And so I just want to shout out Annie Enneking because she's amazing.
Great. Yep.
And I love the idea that like our community just is continuously like, oh, but also these people, and like also these people, and like let's keep it on.
Yeah, she has been very nice. She came like, it shouldn't be as rare as it is, and I feel bad for not doing it. But she came to our shows.
You
does
that?
that?
It's hard.
And also, to her credit, her band to this day did the coolest gig that anyone in our community has done, and played at a indoor roller skating rink. And we went to that. It was the most fun. And like, I don't even know if that rink has survived the pandemic, but it was such a good idea. And it played really well. And I just thought, like, if any, like, it is when someone who is that interesting finds you interesting, it's flattering. Like, she doesn't write like we do, and she doesn't perform like we do. We are in very different areas. And I think it's great that she kind of, especially saw like an affinity with Katrina and a connection with, something being tapped into the source, as it were. Because I think Annie very much is as well, obviously with her theater background. So yeah, she immediately grabbed my attention when we saw her band. I was like, that's cool. No one is doing anything like that in our circle.
Well, and I remember meeting her first when we did, it was one of Jim Walsh's like songwriter things at also at Harriet Brewing.
Yes.
Yeah. And she was one of the artists that we played with. And so that was the first time I heard her stuff. And it was all acoustic because it was just her and her guitar. So it was also fun to like hear that and then be like, oh, you're in a rock band,
Right, you're a rock star.
Yeah.
I don't know many rock stars. I know so many musicians, so many amazing musicians. But when I felt like that when I saw Kiss the Tiger, and I was like, oh, we have this going on too, because I'm just so accustomed to the singer-songwriter. It's who I get to run into a lot, and we are blessed in that community. Like we have a lot,
there are a lot
abundance of goodness there. I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit, like how you're feeling about music right now. You mentioned the pandemic earlier, and how that has informed what you've done and maybe where you're going. You also mentioned briefly that you've experienced death recently in your family.
Yeah, I mean, like literally in the last 3 months, my dad died, a friend of mine committed suicide, and then a former partner of mine died of cancer. And it was just like awful, and like in the pandemic too. I mean, like even now, like my heart's beating fast. Like it's weird. And so like I'm like, since we haven't been performing at all, it's like even thinking about doing this kind of stuff, it's like, oh, I feel different now than I did before. And I like also want to, like when I said I was anxious at the beginning of this, it's like I want to do this and like sit here with my belly out and just be like, ugh, and like not have this like I'm performing, that kind of energy. And that's super hard for me to do. Dan and I are very different that way. I think like he walks out on stage as Dan, and like I walk out on stage as like something else, like, so I'm trying to just like find a way to not have it feel so like fraught with anxiety.
Yeah.
So that's sort of my like wish for how to like approach things now in a different way than I was doing before.
Yeah. I think that's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. I've noticed in my own life that desire to enter musical spaces now in this place, not post-pandemic, but whatever, as more myself and like checking, like how much of this is, really me coming to the table versus like that fraught part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's a lovely thing to share with each other as musicians to help keep us honest about that too, right?
Well, and you can't deny that there is some different expectations that are gendered for sure. Like, nobody blinks an eye if I show up dressed like a longshoreman extra from a Law and Order episode, and it just doesn't matter, and it's almost expected that I can just sit there and plant my feet and not care, and
I mean, you're right. That's part of it. But it also, I think, and this is maybe like the Enneking connection too. Like I came from I was a dancer for years and years and years, and like you are on stage, and your physical body presence is your art form. So it's like it is weird to come onto a stage and have instead it's my voice. And so like it's not that I want to take that out of the equation. I like performing and like the physical personhood of it. I just want it to be less, I don't know, exhibitionist, or to feel like standing up there, my heart will always rapidly beat before we start playing a song, and then once I'm up there for a minute or two, it's like, all right, we're fine, but like, could I just get rid of that? Like, does that have to happen at all? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm going to ask you in a while and see if you got it figured out, and maybe you can let me know.
I'll let you know when I discover the secret.
Well, and I mean, we saw, it's one thing to be doing things at the level we're doing them. And for me, it's easier to just say, I don't care about this at all, or these people. And if they walk away thinking that I look stupid, like they might think that anyway. But like we saw you playing and opening for Teddy Thompson.
That's right. That was such a good show. Yeah, the Cedar.
That is something that I can't imagine doing. I don't know if I would do well with that. Actually having to like...
Because you have a crush on Teddy Thompson.
Kind of, yeah. Like,
he's crushable.
He's amazing.
And he seems so surly and when he performs, but like I know he's not. But I guess I don't know he's not. But yeah, like in that scenario, I don't know how you keep it together. And if somebody, was to come up to me and say, do you want to do this? I would almost say, I don't think I should do this. So yeah, there's a level at which I think everybody reckons with that. And like you look at somebody in the community like Doug Collins, and Doug has whatever it is that Doug's doing, he does it.
But when I talk to him, I'll out Doug here. He says he's anxious too. So it's
Oh,
not
for sure he is.
I mean,
And he would not show up dressed like a longshoreman. He'd feel uncomfortable with that.
I would love that. I would love it. I would love to see Doug show up with like a 7-day
Sweatsuit.
beard and a sweatsuit. That would be great.
That would be a pandemic moment for him. I'm going to have to write that down.
Yeah. Maybe we can convince him to do like a grunge side project
An alter
set.
ego
Yeah,
show.
an alter ego.
You could give him your band name, the Syphilitic.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, I love that. You do have some opportunities to get that heart beating fast coming up. Yeah, you've got 2 shows.
Yeah. So in a couple weeks, the 23rd on Wednesday, I'm just playing a couple songs, but Nick Hensley's doing like a National Women's History Month version of his weekly songwriter showcase, and so I'm gonna do a couple songs for that. And then, we're doing an Emmylou Harris and Loretta Lynn tribute show in April. Also like organized again by Zachary Scott Johnson, and that'll be at the Turf Club. No, it won't. Is it the Turf Club?
I think it is the Turf. It's
Okay.
April 30th. Yes, and you said the Astor is
April
March
30th? Oh gosh. Okay.
Oh, isn't
I gotta
it?
Update my calendar. I thought it was
29th?
April 27th. I thought it was a Wednesday.
27th.
Anyway, I'll look at my email.
You're so right. It's the 27th.
All right.
Please listen to Katrina.
Do you have another show on the 30th?
Yep.
You probably do. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Yep. It's all coming back. It's all coming back to you now.
And we don't know what songs we're doing on that yet, do we?
No, we don't.
Okay.
He has to get back. But yeah, we don't have any other gigs coming up because we've been sort of like writing out Omicron, and yeah, I don't know. We'd love to get out and do some more shows.
Yeah. Well, March 23rd, that would be a good, that's what you said the Astor one was, right? Yeah, that'd be a good one also. I'm wondering if you would sing us another song.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
We're going to do another song from the most recent album called Zachary. Zachary waits in a hole in the ground until his mother shows up at his house with her money in pocket and all of the love in the world. Raising his eyebrows in childlike surprise, never occurring to ask him why. He will take what he gets, and he couldn't care less for the rest. Being wooden, he wouldn't come close to the fire, preferring the coolness and underground bugs. Fine finding he's neither loved nor admired, capturing likenesses, cutting up rugs. Zachary waits in a hole in the ground. Sometimes a girl falls in and climbs back out, but he pounces and giggles and scrabbles a sketch of a nude. Fire, preferring the coolness and underground bugs. Fine finding he's neither loved nor admired, capturing likenesses, cutting up rugs. Zachary waits in a hole in the ground. Sometimes a girl falls in and climbs back out, but he pounces and giggles and scrabbles a sketch of a nude. He's got money in pocket and all of the love in the world. Thank you.
Excellent timing on your puppy.
Yep. Backing vocals
Yeah.
by Pickle.
Pickle.
Yep, he's a very good dog.
Good boy.
He's a good guard dog. Hi,
We
Pickle.
had some attempts at some background vocals in my house, but they're way. I don't think anyone heard them, but Pickle sounds cute and charming.
Yep.
I'm wondering if you would you guys got to each answer this one. Tell me, like, take us all by the ears and spin us out into some new music. What are you listening to that's making you hot in some way?
You want to start?
So, not new. I have been real deep into Lindsey Buckingham lately, and I never cared much for Fleetwood Mac at all.
Okay.
And I didn't know anything about his solo music besides Holiday Road, which didn't interest me very much at all. But he put out an album last year. I think that was last year. And it just absolutely destroyed me. And I've been stuck on it and his entire solo career now. And honestly, like, I think, like, there is no like modern DIY indie pop, indie rock. Like, he is absolutely in the DNA of like Bon Iver, and like anyone who's attached to that sort of indie movement and the whole like hunkered down in a cabin that's what he was doing. Even though he's like this huge figure, and you think of him as Fleetwood Mac being this gigantic band, like that is what he did. So yeah, it's totally taken over my listening for the last 6 months.
I love it. What's it called?
It is self-titled. His new album is self-titled. Yeah.
I will link to that below so that everyone else can go experience that. I love it. Thank you. That's a great one. Katrina.
So Dan is the music digester and consumer of our family for sure. I think this sounds terrible, but like I don't like to listen to music a lot.
Yeah,
like
no.
I need more like silence, and if I can't like sit and listen, it's like too much almost. So the stuff that I've been the most interested in recently is Adrienne Lenker's music from the band Big Thief.
Yep.
And we saw her play at the Cedar in like November, and it was just an amazing show. And she's a person who I think, like, in terms of her kind of like subverting the gender expectations of a female performer and the way she presents herself is just like, here I am, Adrienne. Like, you know, like, it's, I don't know, I admire her, and like her songwriting and guitar playing are incredible. So I really love her. Otherwise, so the stuff that I'm probably actually like realistically listening to the most is with our son, because he likes to do YouTube dance parties, and so we'll just play music and dance around, and that is super fun. So we been listening a lot to like Dua Lipa and Lil Nas X Montero, which is one of his favorite songs. I know. It's really funny because, yeah, we watched the video and, like, I totally didn't screen it ahead of time. And he was like, Mom, why is he licking that snake? And I was like, well,
Yes.
not ready to answer that question. Nope. But,
And locally, you did mention Kiss the Tiger, and if anyone hasn't listened to that, that is, I mean, that is an album that like definitely is the most recent one to transcend like a local album. Like, it's a meaningless label. Like, it is just a very, very good album, and they totally did something, and like they're flexing super hard, and I think that's great. Like, they didn't just like, oh, we're gonna do a band and like whatever. Like, they made a very good album.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they're excellent live. And so I also highly recommend if someone can go see them. They've been on tour, so now that's very relevant. Like, anyone who's watching this could probably go see them in the next year or something. Yeah. Thank you very much for those. Adrienne Lenker is local. I mean, originally, right? So
yeah, she was
Yes.
from, like, International Falls or something like that, or I forget.
Interestingly, my I just dug up or had dug up for me the DVD that she made when she was 14 at the Southern Theater, and it's we haven't cracked open the DVD yet, but I think it's you know, I don't think she really highlights that chapter of her career often, but I think it's interesting. Like, it's part of the story, and it's part of the development, and like it is interesting to see that, like, for better or worse, or however she may feel about it, that people were investing their time.
Right, to make her like a teen pop kind of act or something, which is hard to...
Sort of, almost, yeah.
hard to
Like, there's
imagine.
definitely
I mean,
little
maybe not
bits,
pop, but-
you know, it is interesting. Like, I will say that. Worth looking up. The album is on YouTube.
YouTube album, digging it. I now need you to give us your action item. Action item. What is one thing we can do to support you?
I think that the thing to do would be to follow the YouTube channel, which at this point is mostly just our albums, but that's, to me, the easiest and best way to listen to them. We aspire to do more with that.
Right, to maybe perform, do some low-key performance videos.
Record a little bit out here, perhaps, much like this. So if you do that, I think if we happen to get around to it, you'll see it when we do it.
I would add one more action item, which is, because I assume most of the people listening to this are musicians, and our services are available, so if you want us to play with you, like, I would think anybody who wants us to, like, open for them or play, like...
That's true.
Yeah.
We just haven't put ourselves out there at all recently, so, like, if anyone's looking for someone to play with...
Yes.
Hit us up.
I want to come see you all, so I say everyone should do that, and then I can just come to the shows. I like it. Also, I want you to play at a bowling. A bowling alley would be fun too.
Sure.
But a roller rink.
A roller
I
rink.
like to get it. We should go back to that one. Okay. I need to thank you both so much for being here. Thank you. It means a lot to me. I'm excited. I need to thank my patrons. These people make it possible for me to do wacky things in my bathroom, we say. But other things too, like make albums and like write songs, and I love them very much. And I want to thank you all for watching. We will be back next Friday at noon, every Friday at noon, until the weather gets so nice out that I cannot possibly expect anyone to be inside watching a YouTube video. That will happen, right? Can I sing the theme song at you one more time?
Please do.
Hey. I miss you, and I hope you're doing well. I miss you and hearing your music IRL. So I am thinking that you sing me a song or two. I just sit here in my bathroom saying, hey, Dan, Katrina, Pickle, I miss you. I miss you. And I hope you're doing well. I miss you and hearing your music IRL. So I am thinking that you sing me a song or two while I just sit here in my bathroom saying, hey, I miss you.